Bill Blass never wanted to be ordinary. Born in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1922, he spent his childhood sketching glamorous women in evening gowns while the rest of his classmates were playing baseball. His early years were not easy. His father, suffering from depression, took his own life when Bill was just 5 years old. His mother, left to raise him alone, supported his creative aspirations, but had little understanding of the world he longed to be part of. Small-town Indiana in the 1930s was no place for a boy who dreamed in fabric and silhouette. At 17, Blass made a bold move. He left home for New York City, enrolling at the Parsons School of Design. But his time there was cut short by World War II. He was drafted and soon found himself in one of the most unusual assignments in military history: the Ghost Army. This top-secret unit, made up of artists, designers, and creatives, was tasked with deceiving German forces by using inflatable tanks, fake radio transmissions, and elaborate camouflage. It was military strategy as theater, illusion as survival. The experience shaped Blass in ways he might not have realized at the time. It sharpened his eye for detail, honed his understanding of spectacle, and solidified his belief that appearances could change the course of history. After the war, Blass returned to New York and began climbing the ranks of the American fashion industry, working for various labels before joining Maurice Rentner Leledede in 1959. By 1970, he had taken over the company, renaming it Bill Blass Leledede. He wasn't interested in creating avant-garde pieces that shocked the fashion world. He wanted to design clothes that real women wanted to wear. And he did. Blass had a deep understanding of the American woman. She was elegant, but not stiff, polished, but never unapproachable, glamorous, but always in control. He offered a softer alternative to the structured styles of European designers like Yves Saint Laurent or Givenchy. His clothes were effortlessly chic: well-cut jackets, fluid trousers, cocktail dresses with just the right amount of drama. He was known for his exquisite tailoring and his love of luxurious but wearable fabrics. Unlike the Parisian couturiers who dictated fashion from ivory towers, Blass was a man of the people. He socialized with his clients, attended the same parties, and genuinely understood their lifestyles. One of his most famous clients, Nancy Kissinger, once said, "Bill didn't just design clothes, he designed confidence." That was his magic, his ability to make women feel like the best versions of themselves. He dressed Hollywood stars, New York socialites, and political figures alike. First ladies from Jacqueline Kennedy to Nancy Reagan adored him. Lauren Bacall, one of his closest friends, was rarely seen in anything but his designs. Blass's influence extended beyond the runway. He was a master of branding before fashion designers became global marketing machines. In the 1980s, his name appeared on everything from jeans to perfume to bed linens, making him one of the first American designers to successfully expand into lifestyle branding. He was, in many ways, a precursor to Ralph Lauren, a designer who understood that style wasn't just about clothes, it was about an entire way of living. Of course, not everyone was a fan. Some critics dismissed Blass as too safe, arguing that he lacked the innovation of a Halston or a Jeffrey Bean. He wasn't one to chase trends or shock with his designs. His response? "There's nothing wrong with making women feel beautiful." And his clients agreed. Despite his immense success, Blass remained refreshingly free of pretension. He was witty, charming, and never took himself too seriously. He loved gossip, adored his dogs, and had a talent for one-liners. A favorite: "When in doubt, wear red." another. Style is primarily a matter of instinct. He had a social life as dazzling as his career. He was a fixture at the best parties, effortlessly blending into the world of art, politics, and high society. In 1999, after nearly 50 years in fashion, Blass retired, selling his company for $50 million. He had nothing left to prove. He spent his final years traveling, writing his memoir, Bare Blass, and enjoying the life he had built. He passed away in 2002, leaving behind a legacy of American elegance, timeless style, and a reminder that fashion should be as effortless as it is beautiful. Bill Blass may not have been the flashiest designer, but he was something far more important. He was beloved. He understood that fashion wasn't about making a statement for its own sake, but about making people feel extraordinary in their everyday lives. And that, in the end, is the kind of legacy that never goes out of style.